This is a guided practice on self forgiveness. If you wish, you can begin by finding a posture that feels comfortable and which will allow you to remain supported and alert for a period of time. This could be seated, reclining, or lying down. As you arrange yourself, see if you might like to take one or two extra moments to make any minor adjustments that might help you feel slightly more held, safe, or at ease. And if stillness doesn't feel safe or comfortable right now, you might consider gently rocking or swaying throughout your practice. This can be done either in a seated position or lying down with knees bent. You could even consider a slowly paced walking practice. You have many options available. Allow your body to be your guide. Once you've settled here, if it feels okay, begin to bring your attention inward. See what your eyes might like to do. Do they want to close, remain open, stay softly focused on a point in front of you? Just discovering an arrangement that supports you in feeling both safe and inwardly connected. If your body would appreciate it, you can see what it's like to place a hand gently on the heart, the belly, or any other area that might welcome a compassionate, soothing gesture. Once you've established your posture, see if you can begin sensing into the natural rhythm of the breath, bringing curiosity to the quality of the breath here and now. Is it smooth, deep, turbulent, shallow? Just sensing in. However, you're finding the breath, see now if you might be able to invite the out breath to be just a touch longer than the in breath, like extending a warm hand to the nervous system, inviting calm and ease. If you wish, you can take a few more rounds of breath in this way, exploring how this gentle shift feels for you. As you allow the breath to return to its natural rhythm, you might gently shift your attention to reflect on the last day or two, noticing any times you may have been harsh or critical with yourself, moments that may have stirred old and familiar patterns of self judgment. Once a scenario has come to mind, see if you can gently feel into it as if dipping just one toe into a pool to sense the water's temperature. As you do so, you might bring a sense of curiosity to the body, slowly scanning from head to feet, noticing any areas of tension or holding that may have arisen as this pattern of behavior comes into your awareness. Remembering that you're in charge of how much or how little you feel here. You may also be noticing thoughts, feelings, or self talk that have become activated, and just remembering there's no need to fix anything here. You're simply noticing. Whatever thoughts and sensations have arisen here, these are all simply part of being human. The body provides feedback in this way for good reason. These signals offer us an opportunity to respond in ways that foster a sense of safety, to help us survive and to thrive. And yet, often we respond without compassion or patience, instinctively judging, pushing away, withholding, or punishing ourselves in the name of self improvement or fixing a problem. This can happen countless times each day, often outside of conscious awareness, creating tension and holding which live in the body. And held unconsciously, this tension communicates threat to the nervous system, activating familiar narratives and core beliefs: unworthy, clumsy, not good enough, stupid, unlovable, can't keep up, the worst. These beliefs in turn can reinforce and intensify tension, bracing, and a sense of threat, creating a painful and exhausting feedback loop and slowly closing us off to kindness from ourselves and others. This is where the practice of forgiveness becomes so powerful and vital to our healing and growth. Healing requires a felt sense of safety, but without forgiveness, this feeling of safety can't truly begin to take root. To be clear, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't ask us to grant approval or make excuses. Forgiveness does not mean forcing or gaslighting ourselves into a certain feeling or belief about what's taken place. What forgiveness does mean is allowing space for the messiness and complexity of being human, the both, the and, the all of it. It narrows avenues for self-punishment because growth is a process and not a linear one. Forgiveness makes room for compassion to exist alongside responsibility. To borrow from Maya Angelou, she says, "Forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. And we do the best we can until we know better. When we know better, we do better." The truth is, we're wired to respond to difficulty from our highest self, a highest self that's shaped by what's available to us in the moment through our nervous system, our knowledge, and our resources. But if accepting this feels challenging, that makes perfect sense. We are often conditioned from a very young age to extend grace outwardly to others while simultaneously holding ourselves to impossible standards of perfection. While we can be quick to remind others that life is a journey of trial and error, that learning and growth are a process, somehow this doesn't apply to us. Not us. Forgiveness is not easy, and yet forgiveness is what frees us to move on, to move forward, to learn how to feel safe again in our bodies, our minds, our hearts, and our spirits, to trust again and to heal. With your hand still resting in that gesture of soothing and compassion, I invite you to repeat the following phrases to yourself quietly after I offer them, and if offering them to yourself feels like too much right now, you might try offering them to both yourself and a loved one, replacing I with we. May I or we soften my inner voice. May I allow learning without shame. May I forgive myself for not knowing what I didn't know before I learned it. May I or we allow worthiness to exist alongside imperfection. May I keep returning to kindness. May I hold my inevitable missteps with dignity and compassion. May I trust in the innate goodness of my humanity. If forgiveness is not yet available to me, may I allow it to arrive in its own time. May I soften my inner voice. May I allow learning without shame. May I forgive myself for not knowing what I didn't know before I learned it. May I allow worthiness to exist alongside imperfection. May I keep returning to kindness. May I hold my inevitable missteps with dignity and compassion. May I trust in the innate goodness of my humanity. If forgiveness is not yet available to me, may I allow it to arrive in its own time. Beginning now to gently reorient your awareness back to the sensations of your body and the body breathing, you might see if you can offer yourself one small gesture of gratitude for the courage it took to be here today, caring for yourself in this way. Maybe a gentle rubbing of the chest, a tender squeeze of the arm, or any other gesture that feels intuitive and warmly affirming. Compassion and forgiveness are practices, capacities that grow in small, consistent moments like water dripping on a stone. George Saunders, in musing upon the limits placed on each of us by our biopsychosocial circumstances, said, maybe we should judge a little less harshly and praise with a little more reserve, because none of us designed ourselves. If this is the case, perhaps there's nothing to give forgiveness to in the first place. Only the rich and beautiful unfolding of a life we did not fully choose. You may remain here in this tender space as long as you wish. When you feel your practice is complete, you might begin by taking some slightly deeper, fuller breaths, bringing some gentle energy back to the body. Perhaps inviting some subtle movements of the fingers and toes, hands and feet, neck and shoulders. If your eyes were closed, you might blink them open softly, slowly taking in the space around you. And as you reorient to your environment, you might consider taking one or two final intentional breaths, perhaps an audible sigh on the exhales, inviting anything you do not wish to carry with you from this practice to remain safely held in this space.